the heart of Abuja, where money walks on two legs and pride sits in a tinted SUV, there lived a man people feared more than a police siren. His name, Chief Damian Okonkwo, a CEO of Okonkwo's Group, owner of buildings that touches the sky, and the kind of handsome that made women turn twice. But his heart, blacker than midnight without moon. Move away, you dirty thing. That was Chief Damian's greetings to the young house help who rushed to open his gate one evening. The girl's name was Ezine, thin like broomstick, eyes always red from crying, but she worked like three people, cooking, cleaning, washing cars, polishing shoes till they shone like glasses. She didn't live for herself. She lived for this man and his family. But Chief Damian treated her like she was a rag his shoe had stepped on. You think because you can cook jollof, you are important in my house? If not for pity, you will be selling akara on the roadside. He would say that often to her. His deep voice booming through the mansion. His wife, Amara, was not better in his eyes. She had given him 3 beautiful children, all girls. 3 that to him was an unforgivable crime. Who would take over my company? Amara, your useless girls. Women are nothing. They will only marry and carry my name away. He would bark at the dinner table. The girls would sit there, heads down, pretending to eat, but their little hearts shaking like dry leaves in the harmattan wind. One night, after another round of insults, Amara asked gently, Damian, must you say these things in the front of these children? His reply, a slap so loud even the security man outside turned his head. I am the man of this house. My word is the law. Don't you ever, ever question me again in your life. Ezine, the house help, had seen enough after years of serving without kindness. She left the house, but she left with a vow burning in her chest. I will rise, I will return, and I will make you drink the same bitter water you gave me. Her weapon of choice, the police force, she joined with one mission, climb high, enough to stand face to face with the man who thought women were ants under his shoe. And as the years passed, she rose like smoke, becoming known for her sharp mind and unshakable courage. But deep inside, she carried the memory of every insult, every slap, every humiliation done to her and to every other woman. One afternoon, fate began to write the first page of Damian's downfall. He was driving his newest Range Rover through Wuse when he saw an old woman crossing the street slowly. She carried a basket of vegetables, her back bent like a bow. He honked once, twice, then, impatient, he pressed the wiper button, not to clear his glasses, but to splash the gutter water ahead of him. The filthy brown water jumped into the air and landed on over the old woman's wrapper. She gasped. Ah, my son, why? She asked weakly. Damian stepped out of the SUV, sunglasses glittering in the sun. Why? Why not? Because you are blocking the road. Poverty is your calling, useless woman. Mama, now clear out before I drive over your tomatoes. Nonsense. And with a push of his hands, he sent the old woman stumbling into the same dirty water. What Damian didn't know was that the woman was Mama Ezine, the mother of the girl who once served in his house. She went home wet, cold, and humiliated. Fever came that night. Pain followed. The next day, and in her sickness, she called on that God of justice, the God that created the universe. From today, let the pride of Damian Okonkwo rot from the roots. Let the air, the land, the sea work against him. Let let his gold turn to dust, let his laughter turn to begging. Let the woman he mocked rise above him, and let him eat from the hands he once despised. The wind carried her course into the night, and the walls of Damien's empire began to tremble. Hello guys, please go and subscribe if you have not subscribed. In the city, people used to say that if arrogance had a face, it would wear Chief Damien's Okonkwo's smile. His enemies feared him, his friends envied him, and the woman, they worship his fine face and deep pockets. But the curse of an old woman traveled on invisible legs. It doesn't knock, it just enters. The first wound came quietly. It was a Monday morning when his foot started screaming like a child in pain. Chief, chief, warehouse, warehouse, fire, fire. Will you shut up and tell me what you're talking about? Damien jumped from his king-sized bed, his silk robe flapping like the wing of a giant bird. He drove his latest Range Rover like a demon through Abuja streets. But when he arrived, the air was thick with black smoke, and orange flames were dancing like devils set free. My goods, he shouted, trying to run in, but the heat slapped him back like an angry mother. One of his managers ran forward trembling. Sir, the fire service, their trucks came late and no water. By the time the last flame died, millions of naira worth of imported goods had turned into black dust. Damien felt something crack inside him, but pride glued his mouth shut. Barely 2 weeks later, the second blow landed like a thief in the night. Whispered his operations head, "Customers has seized our containers." For what? What happened? Damien's voice was low but sharp enough to cut glasses. They say counterfeit goods, sir, and they won't release them. Oh, that's what they said. His eyes narrowed. Do they know who I am? But this time, his name was powerless. The story flew across social media like wildfire. Okonkwo Group under investigation. Business partners began to distance themselves like plague survivors. At home, his joy was his only son, Junior. The boy was the crown of his head, the proof that he finally had a male child, an heir after mocking Amara for years. One evening, the house was filled with panic. Junior had collapsed while playing. Damien rushed him into the hospital, his chest burning with fear. He refused to show. In the emergency room, machine beeped and nurses moved like ghosts. The doctor pulled him aside. "Chief, we need a specialist. The surgery is expensive, but it must be done quickly. If not, you lose him. Do whatever it costs." Damien backed, throwing a card at him. But money cannot bribe death. By morning, Junior's small body lay still, his face peaceful, his father's word shattered. Damien had buried many things in his life: workers, enemies, marriages, but this was different. This burial dug into his soul like a rusted knife. His second wife, Lillian, the former side chick he had once flirted while married to Amara, became cold after Junior's death. She stopped smiling, stopped cooking, stopped touching him. One night, as Damien stared at unpaid bills and unpaid staff salaries, Lillian walked in with red lipstick and a travel bag. "I'm going to see my cousin in Lagos," she said casually. "When will you be back?" She shrugged. "Whenever I feel like I will come back." 3 weeks later, Damien got the news she had run off with another man, taking millions from his last account. She didn't even leave him the courtesy of a goodbye text. The mansion was next. Bills piled higher than his bride. Creditors became wolves at his door. Selling the mansion was the only way to breathe. The buyer came on a sunny afternoon. A woman in a flawless white suit. Her perfume wrapped the air in a quiet power. She walked with the grace of someone who had stepped in every major capital of the world. Behind her were 8 carrying leather files. "Good afternoon," she said, her eyes scanning the marble floor. "Welcome to Okonkwo residence," Damian said, forcing a smile that did not reach his eyes. They sat. Papers were signed, payment confirmed. She looked at him one last time, a look that felt like an x-ray. But Damian, blind with desperation, saw only a stranger. What he didn't know was that she was Chiamaka, his first daughter, the useless girl he had laughed at, now a business tycoon with branches from Lagos to London. She was buying back the house where her mother had bled in silence, and she had learned what cruelty looked like. Damian moved into a cramped apartment with cracked walls and a tap that coughed more air than water. The neighbors didn't care who he was. The man who once ordered champagne at breakfast was now queuing to buy a sachet water. His phone was now his worst enemy. Every call was either a demand for money or a rejection from a potential investor. He swallowed pride and went to his old friends, men he had once mocked for taking advice from their wives. "Brother, please help me start again. Just a little loan." One laughed until tears rolled down his face. "Ah, hey, hey, Chief Damian, the African lion, the one who said women are nothing. Where is your roar now?" Another shook his head slowly. "Go to your authority now. Shey you know men authority. Chief, you always say you are the man of the house. Let the house save you." They all turned away. Pride, the only thing Damian had left, began to rot in his own hand. Then came the strangest offer of all. An old friend ran to Chief. Chief, come. There's a good news." "What is the good news?" "There is a vacancy for a driver. The salary is 150,000 naira. But the job, you must be submissive to the madam. Oh. You will wash cars, clean the toilet, and yes, wash her underwear. If you are ready, I can take you to her." "What kind of nonsense is that? Is that an insult?" Chief Damian said. Chief Damian's nostrils flared. "God forbid me, a whole Chief Damian, serve a woman. I cannot. Oh. Damian Okonkwo wash panties. Never over my dead body." But hunger is a patient negotiator. 2 weeks later, his stomach groaned so loudly in a public park that a child turned to stare. That night, he called back. "My friend, I think I'm ready. Where is the house? Let me start. If they still need me." The address hit him like a whip. What? His old mansion? The day of the interview, he stood outside the gate, staring at the walls that had once guided his kingdom. They were painted fresher now, flowers blooming where he never bothered to plant. Inside, the first face he saw was Amara, his first wife, glowing in silk and gold. She looked at him like he was an insect she had never seen before. And behind her came the second face, Chiamaka, the useless girl he had dismissed, now richer than he had ever been. Neither spoke of the past. Amara's voice was calm, professional. "We are looking for a man who can serve without complaints. Can you do that?" Damian's mouth was dry. His pride was dead. "Yes, madam," he whispered. Guys, what do you think about this story? When Damian said yes, madam, that day he felt something inside him snapped. The words tasted bitter in his mouth, but he swallowed them like a man gulping down poison to survive another day. The contract was simple on paper, but heavy on the soul. Wash cars every morning before sunrise. Drive the madams wherever they wanted to go, no matter the time. Clean the toilet, scrub the tiles till they shone like mirrors. Wash their clothes, including underwears. Never speak unless spoken to. He signed without reading twice. Hunger makes a man pen move faster than pride. At 5 a.m., Damien was outside, a bucket in one hand, sponge in the other. His fingers ached in the cold down air as he scrubbed the Range Rover he had once driven with a bodyguard opening the door for him. Amara stepped outside, holding a cup of tea. She stood on the balcony, watching. She didn't say a word. Her silence was louder than any insult. When he moved to the second car, Chiamaka's voice rang out sharp as a whip. "Driver." "Yes, madam." He turned, water dripping from his hands. "Make sure you wash the tires. I don't want to see a single grain of dust. I have a meeting with international investors today." "Yes, madam," Damien replied, bowing slightly. Inside his chest, shame and anger wrestled like two wild dogs. By midday, he was on his knees in the upstairs bathroom scrubbing the toilet bowl till his back ached. The smell of disinfectant filled his nostrils. He thought about the days when he would shout at Ezine for not cleaning the bathroom to his standard. Now, life has slipped the script. He was the one holding the brush. As he scrubbed, a voice floated from behind him. "Driver," Amara said softly, "don't forget the corners, dirty heights in the corners." He nodded, unable to meet his eyes. In the laundry room, Damien's hand trembled as he picked up a silk underwear from the basket. The label read T.L. Chiamaka Linda, his daughter's initials. He remembered the days he had said women were useless and weak. Now his survival depends on washing their most private garments. Chiamaka walked in while he was rinsing. She didn't even blink. "Driver, make sure you hang them in the shade. Sunlight faced delicate fabrics." "Yes, madam," Damien muttered, his voice almost breaking. One Friday evening, Chiamaka had high-profile business gala. She stepped into the back seat wearing a gown that glittered like stars. As Damien drove, she spoke on the phone in fluent English and French, discussing million-dollar deals. At one point, she laughed, a sound that carried both success and revenge. Yes, we will expand the Lagos branch next quarter. The old properties, oh, I already acquired them from their former owners." Damien's hand tightened on the steering wheel. Former owners. She was talking about him. One day, Amara asked him to follow her to a charity event. It was in the same hall where years ago he had humiliated her in public, calling her a failure as a wife because she had no son. This time, the hall stood in silence as Amara took the microphone. "Today, we celebrate the strength of women. Women who rise from the dust men threw on them and built empires from it." The applause was thunderous. Damien stood at the back, holding her handbag, invisible to everyone except his own guilt. It was a Sunday afternoon when the house had unexpected guests. The old woman, Mama Ezine, now healthy and dressed in fine lace. She had been invited for lunch. Damien froze when he saw her. Mama Ezine looked at him slowly, her eyes scanning from his dusty shoes to his bent shoulders. Then she smiled, not with joy, but with the satisfaction of a cause fulfilled. "Ah, life. It knows how to balance the books," she said softly, sipping her drink. From that day, Damien understood his new position in life. He was no longer the lion of Abuja, no longer the man of the house, no longer the man that called himself a god. He was a servant in the house he once ruled, washing cars, cleaning toilets, and driving the woman he had crushed, and while they rose higher every day. And the cruelest part, they never once told him they knew exactly who he was. Every "yes, madam" he spoke was swallowed into silence, and every night when he lay on the small bed in the servant quarters, he stared at the ceiling and whispered, God, if you give me one more chance. 1 week later, the house was quieter than usual. Damian was polishing the luxury bonnet when the sound came. First faint, then swelling like a storm. Sirens, not the casual ones of an ambulance, but the commanding cry of official power. He looked up, confused. The gate opened wide. And rode a black police convoy. 4 SUVs, flashing red and blue, the sound making the air itself vibrate. The guards stood still, ensuring whether to salute or run. Uniformed officers poured out first, forming 2 perfect lines. Then the central SUV's back door opened. Out stepped a tall woman in full police regalia, her boots shone, her cap angled just right, her chest decorated with medals that sparkled under the sun. She didn't rush. Power never does. Damian's stomach tightened as she walked towards the entrance. The officers at her side kept perfect steps. Then she stopped halfway and pointed directly at him. "You, come here." The tone was ice wrapped in fire. Without thinking, Damian wrapped the rag in his hand and walked forward, head bowed. "Kneel," she ordered. The command hit him like a slap. His knees touched the ground before his pride could argue. The hot concrete bit into his skin. She stepped closer, removed her sunglasses, and time froze. Ezine," Damian's voice cracked, her lips carved in a slow, deliberate smile. "Yes, Ezine, the housemaid you used to treat worse than your dog. The one you mocked for being poor. The one whose mother you pushed into dirty water." He tried to speak, but no sound came out. "You see, life is not straight road, Chief Damian of all time," she continued, her voice sharp. "One day, you are at the top. The next, you are kneeling in the dust, serving the people you once despised." She turned to Amara and Chiamaka. "Ladies, let him keep walking." She turned to Amara and Chiamaka. "Ladies, let him keep walking. Don't fire him. Let him understand the value of humility." With that, she slid her glasses back on, turned, and walked away. The sirens flared again as the convoy rolled out. Damian stayed kneeling long after the sound faded, until his legs gave way and he collapsed forward, a fallen king in the dust of his own kingdom. But chance, like respect, is something you don't always get back once you throw it away. Let's go into the moral of this story. Number 1, pride may take you up, but it will also throw you down without warning. Let me even ask you some questions. If you had the kind of wealth and influence Damian once had, what practical steps would you have taken to avoid pride destroying you? The people you mistreat today might control your tomorrow. Have you ever seen someone rise from the bottom to position of power over someone who once looked down on them? How did it change the relationship? Life pays back in the same coin, sometimes with interest. Do you believe life always balances the scale for justice, or do some actually escape without consequences? Share your own example. Go to the comment section and let us know what you think. And last, respect is not earned by status, but by how you treat others. If you were raising children, how would you have teach them to treat people in position beneath them, like staffs, drivers, and cleaners? God bless you for watching. Please make sure you subscribe, follow us on this page, and make sure you go to the comment section and tell us what you think. See you in our next video. We are bringing outstanding, interesting stories that teaches a lot of moral lessons. God bless you. Bye bye for now. Ciao.